maior filme de origem de um personagem da Marvel. Mais de $1 bilhão nas bilheterias em menos de um mês em cartaz, sendo que no seu fim de semana de estreia nos Estados Unidos fez 242 milhões. A maior abertura de todos os tempos para um diretor negro. A lista de recordes do Pantera Negra ainda vai longe, e o longa rapidamente tornou-se um marco na história da Marvel, pois é um dos filmes mais importantes do estúdio politicamente e também comercialmente. Esse é o Pantera Negra.
Remote driving system activated.
Let's go!
Ready, go!
No cinema, a história do Pantera Negra começa muito antes da estreia do primeiro Homem de Ferro. Em 92, o astro de ação Wesley Snipes negociou para protagonizar um filme estrelado pelo super-herói. E John Singleton, de Os Donos da Rua, foi um dos nomes cogitados para a direção. O projeto acabou não indo para frente, mas isso não quer dizer que a Marvel tenha desistido do projeto. Em 2005, quando fechou um acordo de distribuição com a Paramount, o Pantera Negra estava na lista dos 10 longa-metragens que seriam desenvolvidos. Diversos nomes se envolveram com o filme ao longo dos anos, mas ele acabou oficializado apenas em 2014 e chegaria às telonas após a estreia do personagem em Capitão América Guerra Civil.
The MCU is something people understand, people enjoy, people like, and I think what people enjoy most about it is that they're all different. We try to make all of these films stand apart, and when we get into Black Panther, it really is unlike anything we've done before. We are introducing a country in the middle of Africa that has been secret for centuries, pulling back those layers and going in to see it and finding a technologically advanced nation beyond anything currently on the planet. How did they keep their secret? What happens if that secret gets out? How will T'Challa, the Black Panther, deal with the death of his father T'Chaka, as we saw in Civil War, who was killed, by the way, by trying to step out of the shadows, step out of the secrecy of Wakanda and begin to join with the broader world. So T'Challa is not that interested in embracing the larger world right now, but he's going to have to.
Em uma época onde igualdade de gêneros e raças é um tema tão presente, a Marvel acreditava que era necessário contar com cineastas que entendessem os verdadeiros dilemas de T'Challa em seu filme solo. Coogler era uma incógnita, uma vez que havia dirigido apenas o filme independente Fruitvale Station, mas o sucesso de Creed, o derivado de Rock, fez com que as negociações fossem retomadas e ele aceitou o desafio de levar Wakanda aos cinemas. Fã confesso de HQs, o cineasta sonhava em criar um filme que captasse a verdadeira essência do personagem, e por isso negociou com a Marvel para trazer uma equipe de confiança que havia trabalhado com ele em outros projetos. Assim, ele conseguiria criar algo diferente do que foi feito até então no MCU, uma vez que os filmes são trabalhados basicamente pelos mesmos grupos de pessoas.
When Nate Moore, our executive producer, first reached out, I was finishing up my last film called Creed. You know, that film was something that was very, very personal to me. I've been fortunate enough to work on films that I had, personal stakes in. I was really kind of circling these ideas of African identity and representation and personal responsibility. So when I spoke with Nate about the project, I thought it would be an interesting opportunity. It felt like something kind of lit on fire inside myself. So I knew it was the right project for me to do at the time.
Para escrever o roteiro ao lado de Coogler foi chamado Joe Robert Cole, roteirista da premiada minissérie People vs. O.J. Simpson. O plano da dupla era fortalecer a mensagem política do filme, sem perder o lado Marvel de entretenimento. O filme mostraria um embate não apenas físico entre T'Challa e seu principal rival, Killmonger. Mostraria também um embate ideológico, deixando para o público decidir se as ações do vilão eram justificáveis ou não. Para o papel do antagonista, Coogler decidiu convidar seu principal colaborador, Michael B. Jordan. O ator estrelou os outros 2 filmes do cineasta, e agora ele teria a oportunidade de criar um vilão que, na sua visão, tinha uma dinâmica com Pantera Negra parecida com a de Magneto com o Professor X em X-Men.
One thing I'm conscious of is when people make the comparison of Martin and Malcolm, oftentimes like those two activists, who are very important to African American history, they get pitted against each other in ways that aren't really true to what they were saying and what they were about. I think that those two actually were extremely close closely aligned. You know what I mean, in terms of what their goals were and even how they were going about achieving them. But Malcolm was never as crazy or as or as violent or as vindictive as Killmonger is in this film. What's scary about Killmonger is not that he can fight T'Challa and stab him, which he can. What's really frightening is that he's really could potentially lead his country. He could steal his country from him, and he had to be persuasive, be charismatic, and be right sometimes. You know what I mean? And make the audience think. For us, it's scary if a dude who comes in there, saying things that are as violent and it's scary, but you kind of like, well, he kind of got a point. We wanted the film to exist in the gray area, because that's what makes politics difficult. Because T'Challa is a political leader. If it was black and white, man, the movie's easy. Oh, this dude's bad, this dude's good. If we can make it tricky, and then I think we might have something.
It was liberating in a way, It was fun to express a frustration that I know, a lot of people may feel. It felt good. It was a different process for me, usually playing good guys, stereotypically good guys, and to play a more complicated character where you can kind of understand where he's coming from, not just your typical twirl your mustache, want to blow things up for no reason. Mm-hmm. He had a method to his madness.
Turn on the train on the bottom track.
The stabilizers won't deactivate your suit. You won't have protection.
Neither will he.
Aos poucos, a produção começou a trazer cada vez mais nomes de peso ao longo. Outra que não demorou para ser confirmada foi Danai Gurira, que interpretaria Okoye, a líder do exército das Dora Milaje. Para viver a irmã mais nova do Pantera Negra, a Marvel encontrou a jovem Letitia Wright. A jovem foi uma das principais revelações da produção, e Coogler trabalhou a personagem como se ela fosse Q de 007. Contudo, ao contrário do personagem da franquia James Bond, a cientista precisava ser mais guerreira. Com isso, acabou sendo um dos destaques do filme. Outro exemplo de força, inteligência e liderança é Nakia, interpretada por Lupita Nyong'o. Embora seja um interesse romântico de T'Challa, ela está longe dos clichês românticos clássicos.
It's not your average love story.
Right.
Nakia has her life going on as well as her love. And that's such a refreshing image. And also to see a positive image of black relationships,
Right.
Where, where the man is present, the man is interested in what the woman has to offer. The
Right.
man relies on the woman, and the woman supports the man. That kind of healthy relationship, and where you can argue about it and really tussle with real issues and help each other achieve your goals outside of just your personal, intimate stake.
The presentation of women is both fierce and very much feminine. How neither gets compromised, and that's something that seeing the character of Shuri, being as brilliant as she is. I love the way the women were shown being people that reach their fullest potential and live in it, with a fearlessness and don't lose any part of being women. And that really, really excites me about that, and what how that might resonate, and how Wakanda Forever is certainly a theme we should all live by. Also exciting to me is that kids across various demographics are very excited around this film. I had a little girl, one of the execs from Marvel, her daughter, and she said she wanted to shave her head. She wanted to be like the Dora Milaje. And her mom's like, no, that won't be happening. But the beauty is she looked up to these women. She looked up to Okoye and the Dora Milaje, and she wanted to be like them. And it didn't matter that their skin color was different. So I think that's really also very exciting.
Hi.
Right there.
Lupita Nyong'o here in this magnificent green dress that our costume designer 3D printed actually. We cut to Okoye and we see her in this red dress. But the more important thing here is that she's wearing this wig. For the Dora, a big thing for them is symbolism of their bald head. When they become Dora Milaje, they shave their head. It's something that's present in the comics. It's something we really ran with in this film. So for her, it's a dishonor for her to ever cover her bald head. But because she's on this mission, she's got to kind of look like she's fitting into the Western world. You'll see, nobody else in this sequence is wearing the color red. Nobody else in the sequence is wearing the color green. Folks who are familiar with the concept of Pan-Africanism, the Pan-African flag is red, black, and green. So when you see T'Challa, Nakia, and Okoye in their covert looks, you see the colors of the Pan-African flag. Big theme in this is tradition versus innovation. Okoye is a traditionalist, so she fights with a traditional weapon. The African spear is always made out of vibranium, and she fights in a very traditional style. It almost looks like dancing. And Nakia fights completely different from how Okoye fights. Lupita's character Nakia is an innovator. What we want to do is give her a very innovative fighting style. She'll use any weapon, anything that she can get her hands on. She fights dirty. She fights aggressive. She's a spy who had to learn how to make do with what she has. In this film, you'll never see Okoye pick a gun up.
A trilha nessa e em outras cenas de ação são fundamentais para o filme, e elas tiveram participação essencial de Kendrick Lamar. O rapper inicialmente iria participar apenas de algumas músicas, mas depois de assistir grande parte do filme, ele decidiu criar um álbum que foi um sucesso de público e de crítica.
Most of the music in the film is from our composer, Ludwig Göransson, who I've been collaborating with since I was in film school. And Ludwig is amazing. Working with Kendrick was fantastic too, and it was something that me and Ludwig always wanted to do with the film was to get with an artist and make a soundtrack that's like a companion piece. But a different artistic take, but inspired by the same themes and inspired by the film. I mean, Kendrick's a brilliant artist, man. I met him before, working on this film. We had met, and kind of said to ourselves and to the head of his company, if we ever get the chance to work on something, if it times out, we definitely should look at it. And it ended up timing out on this.
One of the instruments that I was drawn to from the very beginning was the instrument called the talking drum. It's a drum you put under your shoulder and you squeeze it, and it had different pitches. So you can basically form words with the drum. The instrument is so loud. So I was just thinking, like, what if you have 6 players playing the same thing? It starts off like this. You don't really hear it from the beginning, and then another player joins, and then dynamically it just grows and grows, and then it goes into huge ensemble. And then I had a solo on top of this. So you have the group and you have the solo on top of that. And then the last final element for the talking drum is T'Challa's name. T'Challa. To beef it up a little bit, put this 808 under the beat, which is basically doing the same rhythm as the talking drums. So just the 808 and the talking drums sounds like this. This is the basic beat for T'Challa's theme.
A expectativa para o filme era alta, mas ninguém esperava o sucesso que estava por vir. O filme arrecadou mais de 200 milhões de dólares somente nos Estados Unidos, e diversas celebridades, incluindo atores e esportistas, decidiram comprar ingressos de cinema e distribuir entre diversas comunidades. Acima de tudo, eles ressaltavam a importância de criar um blockbuster com um elenco em sua maioria negro. Com isso, Pantera Negra marcou a história do cinema e de muitas pessoas.
When these kids found out their whole school was going to see the new Marvel film Black Panther, they threw an impromptu dance party. And the film screening is part of a 2-week African immersion project for Black History Month.
E assim chegamos ao mais recente filme da Marvel. Mas nosso especial 10 anos ainda não acabou. Temos um especial bônus que vai mostrar toda a linha do tempo desta década de ação, aventura, humor e muita diversão nas telas. Não perca!